Your local radar. But first, the current local conditions. Current regional conditions. Your local 36-hour forecast from the National Weather Service. Current regional conditions. Your local 36-hour forecast from the National Weather Service. The extended forecast. Special regional information. Local forecast. Your local radar showing any precipitation and its movement during the past 90 minutes. Intensity is indicated by the color code at the top of the screen.
Winchester, it's up towards the Shenandoah Valley. Washington about 3 inches. Roanoke had freezing rain and sleet and snow about an inch or so. And Altoona so far an inch. And there is the culprit. This is the low, wrapping around that moisture, bringing the snow again into northern Virginia and southern Pennsylvania, and the strong thunderstorms across Florida. Here's what it looks like on a satellite picture. We can see the big bright white clouds banding on through Florida, wrapping up. Here is the upper level low pressure system now. This will bring another bout of rain to northern Mississippi and Alabama and into northern Georgia and Tennessee as we work our way through the afternoon. Fair weather over the northeast, but you notice clouds on the increase as that storm slowly lifts out of the south. We find fair weather dominating much of the southwest, although clouds in the northwest causing by a front approaching and a few showers there. We can see it on our surface map. There is the frontal system, and the southwest winds bring some coastal showers. Fog in the San Francisco Bay, Oakland vicinity. Visibility is restricted, and still more fog across the upper Mississippi and Red River valleys. We're finding visibility is less than half a mile, but they are slowly improving, so be cautious up there. Here's the stuff in the Southland. Once again, heavy thunderstorms. Port Charlotte reports a boat sunk in Charlotte Harbor. Tornado touchdowns on the Kings Highway. Just nasty storms rumbling through central Florida right now. And still that moisture wraps around, and we're still getting rain with that upper level low back towards Memphis, Tennessee. Tupelo, some moderate rain, and then the snowfall as we get into the central Appalachians. Now, we still have a tornado watch in effect till 5 o'clock Eastern time, as you can see, for a good chunk of central and south Florida, including the Gold Coast and the Space Coast. And this is the region including Fort Myers and Miami, West Palm Beach on up towards the Cape, in Orlando as well. Here's a look at the national radar, and it shows the moisture just wrapping around the low pressure system and the heavy storms into Florida, and some moderate to heavy rain and sleet into Virginia. Here's a look at the Sunshine State, and we see the thunderstorms now around Fort Myers up towards Melbourne, and then a second line marching on through Daytona Beach right now up towards New Smyrna Beach, some moderate to heavy storms. A closer look at the Orlando area, a brief respite here as storms rumble through Cape Canaveral and near Lake County and Seminole County up towards Daytona. That second line of storms, it's all pressing off to the east-southeast. We work our way farther south, and once again around Charlotte County, Port Charlotte, Fort Myers area, some intense thunderstorms here that are sliding off to the southeast. Now, the Gold Coast okay now, but you see the rain is rapidly approaching from the northwest and will continue to move on in. Some heavy rain and then a rain-sleet mixture around the nation's capital at the present time, and working our way on in towards Pennsylvania. This is all snow, and it'll really begin to pile up a little bit later on today, so be ready for it. We take a look now at the outlook now for...
Coming up, we'll look at your local radar. But first, the current local conditions. Regional conditions. Your local 36-hour forecast from the National Weather Service.
Right, the northern locales, though, snow from Hagerstown over to BWI. Again, things are clearing out nicely here. You still have a sprinkle or two in Charlotte, some light rain in Raleigh and Durham, but most of it moving out of the picture this morning. Not so, though, in the Sunshine State. Look at this squall line from just east of Avon Park to Fort Myers and south of there. Some rough.
Here in Atlantic City, what are we, 3 weeks now from the first day of spring in the mid.
Your local 36-hour forecast from the National Weather Service.
Well, get tricky. Around D.C., as we mentioned, 3 inches of snow on the ground, a snow and sleet mix at this time. Over towards Charlottesville, we have a little rain. We're already back to snow, and it's solid snow around Elkton and Harrisburg and over into West Virginia. Ohio, you're on the fringes, some rain and some snow, but it looks like your amounts will be much lighter. So as you can see there, a little orange mixed in. So little rain-snow mix, all snow basically across Pennsylvania. It's now taken over in Allentown. It's heading up the pike towards New York City. And if you don't see any flakes out there yet, it probably will not be long. And then Hartford is next and Boston thereafter. So the snow working its way into southern New England. 1 inch of rain, but probably not over. The mountains there, we'll see a few inches of snow. And take a look at this. The white zone here indicates more than a foot of snow. So it's a pretty big area. And this is just through 7 a.m. Thursday. Thereafter, it will continue to snow and snow heavily on up into New York and New England. So it'll be at least until Friday afternoon before we see the storm system moving on out and winding down.
Well, look at your local radar. But first, the current local conditions. Regional conditions. Your local 36-hour forecast from the National Weather Service. Extended forecast. Special regional information.
Intensifying and working its way up just off the coast of New Jersey by tomorrow afternoon. Again, along the coast, it'll be really touch and go. Some rain, snow, sleet, interior regions, all snow, windy conditions. It will be a real tough go out there. Here's what it looks like. Our snow forecast in the white, more than a foot of snow. There it is, winter storm warning. Remember, coastal flood warning and high wind warning. 30 degrees for an overnight low. Temperatures about where they are right at the moment. And then they'll inch up to about the mid-30s tomorrow, maybe just warm enough to get that changeover, at least a mix. Nasty through Friday, even though most of the snow will be to our north. And then look what happens, a warm-up and actually a pretty nice-looking weekend coming up.
You're watching the Weather Channel. Weather you can always turn to for accurate, dependable weather forecasts 24 hours a day.
The latest winter storm is causing problems across the eastern states, and it's going to get worse. Stay with the Weather Channel for the entire story.
Reflecting back on February, and then we'll concentrate on this major March storm that's marching up the eastern seaboard. I'm Dennis Smith, alongside Jill Brown this hour, as we look back at February, the snowiest ever in some parts of the country, including on up throughout Milwaukee and Wisconsin. Also, severe ice storm and flooding taking place in this past 28 days, I guess I should say, in the month of February across the Ohio Valley. Huntsville had the wettest ever in the month of February. Some very heavy snow on up in the northeast. even Bismarck, North Dakota. 43 below, that was the lowest they've had in 26 years. And in the western states, Seattle ended up having normal precipitation that ended the last month. It continued to be below normal, though. And Crystal Mountain in Washington State reported 65 inches of snow in just one 24-hour period. That's getting a dumping. Whew. Los Angeles reported 3.21 inches. That's only the second month in a year, in the last 12 months, that they've been above average on their rainfall for a given month. And again, the snow situation still ending up very significant, even for Madison, Wisconsin. That's the snowiest they have ever reported any given month in Madison, Wisconsin, 36 inches. Well, unfortunately, I have to be the bearer of bad news. Looks like there's some more snow headed for the northeast quadrant of the country. I know lynch mobs are forming, and I know you've seen enough snow already, including seeing some snow in Boston, 81 inches this winter, New York City about 45 inches, and they saw another 4 to 5 inches around Dulles Airport in Washington, D.C., as commuters tried to get around in more winter weather. They're throwing in the towel. They say, this is it. Come on. They'd like to get their hands around that little groundhog that was predicting 6 more weeks of winter weather, because they're looking for spring, and this isn't the way it's shaping up. Looks like they may pick up some more snow and wind before it's all over with. Please drive carefully. Looks like these commuters were just crawling off to work. Well, the next winter storm's taking aim on the northeast.
In the past 90 minutes, intensity is indicated by the color code at the top of the screen.
That will be coastal flooding, a mix along the coast with the warmer air coming off the water. It won't stay snow. It's likely to change over to snow and sleet, or maybe all the way over to rain. Interior regions will get the heavy snow, and that will be piling up, again, in feet rather than inches. Following the storm, windy and cool, but briefly, the weekend looks better, so hang in there. We'll get to that forecast shortly. I want to give you a rundown of where the watches are along the coast. Coastal flood watch for the green areas. Merrimack River down to Long Island Sound. From the south shore of Long Island to Virginia Beach, it's a coastal flood warning. South of there around...
From the city, there they are, bumper to bumper. Traffic is hardly moving.
An hour. What's causing this? We always, Virginia Beach up to Merrimack River, coastal flood watches. Strong onshore winds could reach 50, 60 miles an hour. A long event, which means coastal beach erosion could get quite prominent in this area. And those snow amounts, 1 to 2 feet expected from the Laurel Mountains right on up into the Berkshires. And that includes Harrisburg and Scranton and Allentown. And just west of New York City and Boston, it'll really be piling up.
Weather forecast. Your local radar showing any precipitation and its movement during the past 90 minutes. Intensity is indicated by the color code at the top of the screen. Current regional conditions. Regional information precipitation and its movement during the past 90 minutes. Intensity is indicated by the color code at the top of the screen. Regional conditions. Radar showing any precipitation and its movement during the past 90 minutes. Intensity is indicated by the color code at the top of the screen.
Nose through all the blows.
Good morning, my nose said thank you.
Accurate and dependable from the Weather Channel. Current regional conditions. Special regional information. Your local 36-hour forecast from the National Weather Service. Your region's long-range outlook. The regional forecast. The extended forecast. Your local radar, showing any precipitation and its movement during the past 90 minutes. Intensity is indicated by the color code at the top of the screen. Intensity is indicated by the color code at the top of the screen.